What is going on, everyone? My name is Rancer, and welcome to another game review for June the 21st, 2014. Yeah, June 21st. And today's review is going to be a game that came out last month on May the 3rd. Hold on. I am not in the right position, am I? I can't really tell. Let's look up. I can't really tell. But anyway, give me one sec. Okay, there we go. So today's review, as you see by the title, we're going to be reviewing Mario Kart 8 for the Nintendo Wii U. This game came out last month on May 30th, and I wanted to do a review of this game as soon as I explored everything, but I wanted to play the game a little bit more, just to experience more of the game, just to pretty much tell you what I personally think about the game and how it actually works. So, anyways, let's talk about Mario Kart 8 now. What is Mario Kart 8 pretty much? Well, if you play Mario Kart, it's pretty damn obvious. It's a freaking racing game. And you drive around the courses and you try to get in first place and beat everyone else. And you got all these insane different types of items or power-ups to pretty much help you get in the race. Sometimes it's also based on luck based. Sometimes you'll get the item you want that could guarantee to help you get in first place. Or you'll get a really crappy item that won't help you at all and you're going to lose the race. So, it's just basic Mario Kart. But is that a bad thing? Not really. It's not really a bad thing. The purpose of the Mario Kart series is that they're supposed to be games that both professionals, competitive players, and even casual players will definitely enjoy regardless. Because Mario Kart 8 has always been a very fun game for everyone of all ages, regardless if you're a competitive or a tournament player or even a casual gamer. Mario Kart has always been a fun series for everyone. And of course, you got some people who are like, oh, well, I don't like this game. It's just over. Really serious, huh? It's just the same every time. Well, like, okay, when it comes to Mario Kart 8, it definitely does have the same stuff that you would expect from Mario Kart 8. For example, you got the usual same roster, you got your racing tracks, you got the your usual items and pops, and the same usual stuff. But what Mario Kart 8 does do a bit better than the last one, which the last two Mario Kart games was Mario Kart 7 for 3DS and Mario Kart Wii for the Nintendo Wii. But what this game has an advantage of, though, is that even though it does use the same formula, it does add in some new stuff into it to keep the game fresh and polished. Yes, now there is a few problems with this game. There's one big complaint about this game that everyone says about and I agree about, but I'm not gonna get to that. I'll get to that later in the review. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives. What did I personally like about Mario Kart 8? For one, in terms of the gameplay wise, it's pretty much Mario Kart. Again, it's not a bad thing. It's a very fun, enjoyable game, especially when you play with your friends, especially the online multiplayer, which I personally have to say the online multiplayer is amazing, though. It's massively improved from 3D. It's definitely massively improved from both the 3DS and the Wii games online multiplayer. Definitely massively improved. There's no lag There's no lag at all. There's no lag at all. They give you several options. They give you several options to play the game. You can either play battle mode, you can play racing, you can play tournaments, you can play racing with your friends, or pretty much anything you like to do in online multiplayer. And for the first time in the series, you have online chat, which is the first time a Mario Kart game has ever had it. And even the first time that a Nintendo game in this day and age is finally got online chat. The only problem with the online chat, though, is that you can only do it during a section where here's basically how it works. Once you finish picking your character in racetrack, if you join a group of people whose race is already going on, you're pretty much spectating the match. So while you're the match, you could just either just sit there and watch what happens, or quit it or something and try to find another group. It basically depends. But what happens is that after the spectating's over, you have the choice of picking 4 sections. You can pick 3 courses that are randomly selected, or you can pick random select. And that's like, for example, one stage could be the Mario Circuit, one stage could be the Cloud stage from the Star Cup or something like that. And it could also have the Nintendo 64 Rainbow Road, but the 4th one will be a complete random thing where if the game picks your thing, and it pretty much picks any random course from the game that you pretty much unlocked, which is which is definitely pretty much the same as Mario Kart 7, but at least on the plus side, it's not bad. You also have the option to pick chat lines, like say, not fair or shall we get started stuff. The same as Mario Kart 7. Well, but like I said, the online chat, despite only using it at certain moments, it is a nice addition. But the problem with the online chat that I wanted to mention was that you can only use this online chat when you're playing with your friends or during tournaments. At least from what I know for a fact. I know when you fight against friends, actually, the online chat is you can turn off the chat or just turn it off if you want to. I don't know if it's the same with tournaments, but I don't quite remember. But I know for a fact it's with friends, though, and that's pretty much the only chance you would do it. But I can definitely see why. Because let's say you turn on the chat in Mario Kart, let's say a racing game from random people around the world, you'd be like, oh, what the heck is this? Oh, that's not fair. Screw all you losers and yada yada yada. Like, you get what you see what I mean. And I think it's not a bad idea on their part to do it only with friends. That's definitely not a bad idea. I just think that they should have let you cat the online chat throughout most of the race. That way you're allowed to talk through the game while doing it at the same time. I understand just to not distract the other players, but at the same time, I just wish they could have done a little bit more with it. But I actually do give them applause for adding an online chat for the first time in a Nintendo multiplayer game. So I give them major kudos to that. I just think they could have done a bit better with it. So yeah, like in terms of more details about the online, it does have the same more the mechanics of the online multiplayer is pretty much the same as Mario Kart 7. Depending on what place you're in, you'll either lose or maybe you'll gain extra points. And there is no ranking system, by the way, which it probably in the long run really does not matter too much because again, you have the option to play with friends. You also have the tournaments you can tell which the tournaments is the same as similar to Mario Kart 7 where basically you can either make your own tournaments or you can join other tournaments as well. Some of them can only be found by your people on your friends list. Some can only find it if you give them a code or something like that. That's basically tournaments. The tournament settings can be different. It can either be a battle race, a regular race with 150cc, or anything like that. Any option you pick, tournament, it depends on which one is. So the online multiplayer, it's pretty similar to Mario Kart 7's, but it's definitely a bit more improved because of the extra new additions, and plus the improved netcode of the game. I mean, yeah, actually, you get some of those communication errors once here and there, but outside of that, I really love the Mario Kart multiplayer. I do play it a couple times because I really do enjoy it. It's a lot of fun. So now, in terms of the regular modes outside of online multiplayer, you do have the usual stuff like Mario Kart. You can either play single or multiplayer locally. You can also play, and by the way, you can by the way, for the first time Mario Kart on a home console since Nintendo Wii, you can play the game locally with your friends online during online play, which is a nice addition. And by the way, so when you pick either the 1-player or the 2-player local multiplayer or 4 players or whatever, depending on which one you go with. They don't allow 4-player, 3-player online multiplayer, by the way, just in case some of you might be wondering. You have the usual thing. You can either do a regular race, a custom rules race, or you can do battle mode. Regular racing is pretty much the same. You have 50cc, which is the easiest difficulty, 100cc, which is medium difficulty, 150cc, which is the hardest difficulty, and mirror mode, which is pretty much 150cc except the tracks are reversed, and that stuff. That's pretty much all there was to the local multiplayer. Again, very simple stuff, but it is what you would expect from Mario Kart. Now, let's talk about the graphics. What did I personally think of the graphics? I'm going to say this. It's definitely by far the most beautiful game on the Wii U. I'm probably going to say out there that I actually think it's a much better looking game than Super Mario 3D World that I still have. I think it's definitely that much better of a game, and I personally think it's way more beautiful. It has amazing graphics, especially the level design on the new courses are really, really well creative. The only case an example, you have Bowser's Castle. It's possibly the best designed Bowser Castle I think I've seen in a long time. You enter Bowser's Castle, then all of a sudden you go into an anti-gravity section that goes up on the walls that's like, holy crap, what the heck is going on? And because of since they ported from the Wii's hardware engine, which was pretty much like an updated version of the GameCube, now into full HD graphics, they massively improved. There's so much detail going on in both all around you. Like, for example, there's a course called Shy Guy Falls. While you're racing on the anti-gravity section, which is going up a waterfall and going down, which, even though it looks like you're just still driving on a regular field or road, but when you look at it from outside the race in a highlight reel, it looks really amazing. Especially during the background, you hear Shy Guys singing, you hear them riding carts, and you also hear them doing some work. Like, since they ported it from the Wii to the HD Wii U, it pretty much really massively improved in terms of details. The textures definitely are massively improved. Now, again, since the Wii U does have inferior hardware to the PS4, it's not perfect, but for what they could do on the Wii U, it looks definitely amazing. The graphics, I really liked it, especially the redesigned versions of old classic courses. Like, for example, the Nintendo 64 course of the Rainbow World looks amazingly beautiful. One of the few stages that takes full advantage of this game's power, especially the Wii U's engine. It looks so damn amazing in HD and looks really gorgeous. Even the Moo Meadows from the Wii is massively upgraded to HD. Looks really, really good. Pretty much, I really love the level design of the new courses, which, in my opinion, every time I play, I never get tired of the design. It always looks amazing when I see it. And you also, including the redesign on the old classic courses, definitely also looks amazing in HD. Especially the fact that there's textures, like if you drive on sand, you see sand all over your tires, but when you drive in the water and stuff, you come out with water textures all over your body, including also on the car itself. Massive amount of detail. Really loved the graphics. And sorry, man. Hold on a minute. Sorry, I just had to get a small drink. Sorry about that. That's pretty much, let me see, yeah, that's pretty much what I have to say. Those are my big major likes. In terms of the new features added into the game that I really liked, one of them is the anti-gravity section. Now, I do want to keep in mind, though, this is just something I want to point to people. The anti-gravity section, while it is a nice addition mechanic into Mario Kart 8, this was not the first time it's been done in a racing game. The last racing game I remember that had anti-gravity sort of sections was Crash Nitro Kart on the PS2. I have that game. It's not really the first time it had it, but unlike Crash Nitro Kart, this game does it a little bit differently. How the anti-gravity section works is that you see these blue rectangles on the track. If you go past that section, depending on what's ahead of you, you enter an anti-gravity section. Your tires go from like regular tires to like hover tires. It's pretty much like as if your vehicle transformed from a regular kart to all of a sudden a hover vehicle. Or if you get what I mean. And what happens is that during the anti-gravity sections, if you bump into someone, which normally in Mario Kart, that's usually a bad thing, because if you bump into someone, that's usually a good thing, but if someone bumps into you, you could possibly fall off depending on the weight of your character. And that could be a bad thing if you're drifting against, if you're drifting close to an edge, they can knock you off. But in Mario Kart 8, if you enter the anti-gravity section, you bump into people, or if they bump into you, both you and the opponent get a speed boost instead. There's not that much knockback or push from the opponent when they drive into you. Both you and the opponent spin just like a second, and boom, you get a speed boost right off the bat. Now, if you do this correctly, you can get the speed boost and probably get up ahead. But your opponent, however, can take advantage of that too. So you have to plan your strategy for this really well. Sometimes if you were playing with a friend or something, you could also cooperate and then do it together. But at the same time, it's pretty much all about strategy. In my personal opinion, it definitely adds a lot of depth into strategy, in my personal opinion. Another new feature they introduced is a brand new feature called Mario Kart TV. Now, if you don't know what Mario Kart TV is, it's basically kind of like think of it as like Twitch sort of a way. Think of it as like Twitch or full screen or something, or Blip TV or something like that. Think of it as like that, but added into Mario Kart 8. Now, how Mario Kart TV works is that during the end of each race, regardless if it's either local or online multiplayer, you're given a highlight reel of your race that you just recently finished. Like, say for example, you play an online match and like, oh crap, I am doing so badly, I'm screwing up, and then all of a sudden you get an item and then you make a comeback at the end and get into first place. That highlight reel is pretty much uploaded into Mario Kart TV into your files. Now, the old ones do get deleted, by the way. The old highlight reels get deleted. Now, what happens during the highlight reels is that you can actually edit the videos. You can edit it to either be 30 seconds, 45, 60 seconds, or you can just record the entire race, and you can focus the thing, and you can make the camera focus on mostly not only just yourself, but maybe other different drivers alongside you. And you can also focus on the action, you can focus on the items. The game gives you several options for the editing stuff. Now, I will say that the one problem about the highlight reel though is that even though it does give you some options, I do think they could have given you more options, because I'll be completely honest. Don't get me wrong, it's a nice addition, especially that you can upload this to both Miiverse and YouTube is a really major plus for that. But my problem with it is that the editing, since it only gives you a few options, it does limit the amount of editing you can do. If they give you more options, this would have been really great. The other problem about the highlight reel is that you can't add commentary into it unless you either are live streaming the race, which there's no point in doing the highlight reel thing, or you don't have a camera like the one I have personally for live commentary, which is a bit of a negative for me in my opinion, but you can also share this with everyone also on Miiverse as well, or you can share it on YouTube, but you need a Google account and a YouTube account to do that though. So I can definitely see two sides to this. I think on one hand, I definitely see some people on one hand, I definitely see that people who don't have live stream or don't have camera options or something like that, or they can't record properly, they don't have live capture devices, that feature is really good for them. But for people who can already live stream their things in super high quality like everyone does nowadays, there's no necessary point for that. But again, I like the idea. I do give them kudos for adding this in, but at the same time, it does have some problems that only certain people may use it. But at least in the highlight reel, you can see some of the funny moments, especially the fact that Luigi's death stare became a viral video because of this highlight reel stuff. It's just really funny, but it really offered a lot of legacy into it. And you also got some of the new items, which I have to say, a lot of the new items are actually really unique items. For example, you got the boomerang item. The boomerang outfit item is an item that's, think of it as kind of like red shells or green shells, where you get 3 of them. However, unlike the red shells or green, where you just throw them and then that's it, for the boomerang, you actually throw it ahead of your person, but it comes back to you. You can use it up to 3 times. First time, throw it, comes back to you, grab it. Second time, throw it, comes back to you, grab it. And then the third time, unfortunately, does not come back, so it just throws it and just goes a very long distance. And what's good is that even if you hit your opponent that's right in front of you, the boomerang will come back and hit them back again if they get in the way. Hey, that item becomes very useful when there's a ton of people in front of you, because you can hit multiple people, and if someone gets ahead of you, they might get hit by the boomerang that comes back. Hey, look, if there was not that many people, it wouldn't be that useful, but it's a very neat item, and I really like the boomerang outfit. The other item that they show is the piranha plant. The piranha plant is another unique item, but I wouldn't say it's as neat or as, I would say, as useful as boomerang. Now don't get me wrong, it is really useful at times. It just depends on your situation. What the piranha plant does is that when you use this item, every few seconds it automatically bites it will automatically bite in the thin air, and every time the piranha plant bites, you get a speed boost, a small speed boost. But what really is neat about the piranha plant item is that if you actually get close to, I would say, maybe coins that you need, and by the way, there is customized carts back with customized cars, motorcycles, ATVs, wheels, and you also need coins to pretty much collect more of these, which in the long run, if you get maximum 10, you do get maximum speed, which will help you out in the long run to collect as many coins as possible, but it's just to get it out of the way. So, if the piranha plant eats a coin, a banana peel, or maybe anybody that comes close to him, it automatically bites him. So let's say, for example, bites out there and all of a sudden, oh, there's a coin. It just bites it, grabs the coin from you, and then you get 2 speed boosts pretty much in a row. Oh, like almost instantly right off the bat. Oh, I am really sorry about that. I almost got a burp there. I am really sorry about that. That's about it when it came to the piranha plant. Now, the last and final new item that they showed off is a new item called the Super Horn. Now, this item is actually a rare item. Now, the reason I said it's a rare item is because that this item is one of the few that is way too good, but I'm actually glad that they made it a rare item, is because what the Super Horn does is that when you hold on to this item, it creates a giant horn sound that spreads around your sound, and it lasts there for a couple seconds. Now what happens is that if you use the thing, it will hit opponents that get too close to them. But what's really unique about this item is that if you do it when a red shell or green shell is about to get close and you see it for a split second, or for the first time ever, if a blue shell is about to come above you or try to hurt you, if you use the Super Horn right before it hits you, you destroy the item. Yes, for the first time, the Super Horn is the first ever item to destroy a blue shell. So blue shells are no longer as huge of a threat as they used to be. I mean, yeah, true, it's still a huge threat, but it's no longer as huge as it used to be. But keep in mind, though, this is a very rare item, though. Oh, and you won't get it every often, though. So the new items, I really like a lot of the new items. Definitely thought they were nice additions. Definitely adds a lot of more depth into strategy and gameplay-wise, so, yeah. Now, there is one more thing about the game that I did like that I forgot to mention, was that I actually like, was that, in terms of the items thing, now, I will actually admit, the one problem I have with the item system is that the most useless item by far is the coin, because you get 2 coins, but there's no point of actually keeping it. All it does is just give you a tiny speed boost, and it just gives you 2 extra coins. Like it's useful to unlock customized parts and to try to maximize your speed, but outside that, it has no other use. So, but in terms of the other items, I will definitely say that because of the Super Horn is the first item to get rid of the blue shell, once you get an item that's useful in first place, like say for example you're lucky and get the Super Horn, you get a green shell or a banana peel. If you go into first place, it's completely necessary to hold on to the item at all costs. The reason is because since Super Horn is pretty much an anti-blue shell item, blue shells aren't as threatening anymore. Instead, green shells and red shells are now very threatening now, so you have to keep your item around. Unless it's a coin, you have to keep your item around to defend yourself in first place at all costs. Which is not really a bad thing, because in Mario Kart that's common, you have to defend your title when you're in first place, but sometimes you have to get the right item you need. The Super Horn, in my opinion, is the most useful one. If once you keep it around, make sure you keep your item around at all costs until an item comes along, and then once you do that, then make sure you stay in first place at all costs. But it depends how long it stays. Now for me, I'm gonna take a look at the time for a sec, people, just to see. And that stuff. I got about a minute, 3 seconds left, so I'll be back again, people, for part 2, as we're going to talk about my personal problems with the game and my full additional rating for the game. So I'll be right back.